Protesters back at the state capitol tonight, but a much smaller and calmer crowd than last night. That's when DPS officers fired tear gas to break up the demonstration. Around 8,000 people were there after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade.
Investigators say several people tried to break into the Senate building on Capitol grounds where lawmakers were just wrapping up their legislative session. Arizona Senate Republicans are calling this an attempted insurrection. The building, however, was never breached, and many protesters say troopers used excessive force when they fired that tear gas. As Brian mentioned, demonstrators were back at the Arizona Capitol tonight. This time, however, fencing has been placed around the property to keep people from getting close to the buildings, and things appear to have been peaceful so far.
Several monuments at the Capitol or nearby, the Wesley Boland Plaza in particular, were vandalized last night, mostly with spray paint. Messages like "abort the court," others with profanity. And tonight we're hearing from a state lawmaker inside the building when the chaos erupted, and a mother and her young daughter outside hit by tear gas. Fox 10's Marissa Sarbeck is live with more on this story. Marissa.
Brian, Linda, certainly much calmer and a much smaller crowd, as you mentioned. Yesterday, DPS estimating about 7,000 to 8,000 people were here protesting outside the Capitol building. Tonight, we're seeing about a few hundred people at least here. Now, we just saw a few of them leave and go march around the Capitol building. We do imagine they will come back around. As you see, everybody right out front here, they were sitting just moments ago. They've gotten up. They have been chanting all evening. But again, they are standing behind two fences blocking them from the state capitol building. State Senator Michelle Ugenti-Rita took these videos from inside the Senate building while the legislature was in session late Friday night. When protests began, troopers say the crowd of around 8,000 was protesting peacefully. But as the night progressed, DPS says smaller groups broke off and attempted to breach the locked Senate doors.
There was no question that they were trying to come in. No question. I've seen a ton of protests. I can't stress that enough. I've never seen this. You could see them banging so hard on the door that it became looser and looser, and it was just like a matter of time before they were going to be able to reach it.
That's when DPS stepped in, deploying tear gas to the crowd of thousands. In a statement today, the department said, quote, "As the glass doors bowed from the attempts of forced entry, the occupants of the building were instructed to move to secure locations. Due to the direct threat to the occupants of the Senate building and damage to the building itself, Arizona state troopers took immediate action and utilized tactics including the deployment of field force teams and tear gas. Protesters say they did not hear a warning before the tear gas was deployed near the Senate building.
We weren't even directly close to that area, but the smoke had come close to where we were. And there was no warning. There was no, hey, this is your last call, order to disperse.
DPS in that statement confirming there were multiple warnings of unlawful assembly announced near the Wesley Boland Plaza where state memorials were defaced, but did not address a warning or lack thereof when tear gas was deployed near the Senate building.
A warning helps people leave calmly versus people freak out and start to run. They could trample each other. So it becomes a safety issue when there isn't an announcement.
Natacha Chavez says the tear gas hit her and her 8-year-old daughter Amelia, the great-granddaughter of civil rights activist Cesar Chavez. Natasha says people questioned why she brought Amelia to the protest to begin with, but she says it's because this landmark decision affects her generation even more.
In the next 10 years, that's 18, where she's having those thoughts about contraceptive or abortion. And also the fact that she's going to have less of those rights going into her teenage and 20 years than I did is very sad.
DPS telling us that troopers were wearing body camera footage and body cameras while they were inside the state capitol and outside last night. Now, we have put in a public records request for that. We'll keep you updated when that body cam footage is released. Live outside the state capitol, Marissa Sarbeck for Fox 10 News.